She thought humiliating a quiet black girl would be just another lesson. What she didn't know was that the girl's secret would turn the entire school upside down. The afternoon sun streamed through tall windows, casting golden stripes across the classroom floor. Dust motes drifted lazily in the light, but the warmth of the day did little to soften the air inside. The atmosphere felt taut, as though an invisible thread pulled every sound too tight. Chairs scraped against the tiled floor as students shuffled in, their conversations hushed and fragmented. Laughter bubbled in pockets of the room, but it quickly faded into cautious whispers once the teacher entered. Maya sat near the middle row, her back straight, hands folded neatly atop her notebook. Her dark curls framed her face, and though she stared at the board with quiet focus, her eyes held a guarded distance, like a shield drawn between herself and the world around her. At the front of the room stood Ms. Carter. Her eyes, sharp and unyielding, swept across the class with the clipped authority that silenced even the most restless students. The click of her heels echoed like punctuation marks as she moved to the desk. There was no open hostility in the room, yet the tension between teacher and student hung heavily, a silent current that every other child could sense but dare not name. The chalk squeaked sharply against the board as Miss Carter scribbled an equation, her voice crisp as glass. Without warning, she turned, eyes narrowing. "Maya," she called, her tone edged with expectation. "Stand up. Solve this." A hush fell across the room. Maya's heart thudded in her chest as she rose, every eye pinning her in place. She studied the numbers, her mind scrambling for answers that slipped just beyond reach. Her lips parted, trembling with fragments of thought. I think it's wrong," Miss Carter snapped before Maya could finish. The word cut like a blade. "This," she tapped the board with disdain, "is basic. Yet here you are, fumbling." A ripple moved through the class. Some students shifted uncomfortably, others hid grins behind their hands. Miss Carter's voice sharpened further, slicing into the silence. "This is exactly why some students never make it anywhere. They waste everyone's time." The words rang out like a verdict. Maya's hands clenched beneath her desk as she lowered herself back into the chair, her face burning. She forced her gaze forward, jaw tight, refusing the sting of tears. But inside, something fragile cracked. The weight of humiliation pressing down, stripping her dignity bare. The bell rang, sharp and merciful, scattering the tension like shattering glass. Students rushed from their seats, their chatter rising in uneven waves. But beneath the usual noise, a different current stirred, low whispers weaving through the hallways like smoke. "They say the principal's calling everyone to the auditorium later. Something big's happening. Maybe a new hire?" "No, I heard it's about one of the teachers." Fragments of speculation floated from group to group, carrying excitement and unease in equal measure. Maya gathered her books with mechanical precision, her movements stiff. Her ears caught the rumors, but her heart wasn't in it. The sting of Miss Carter's words still pulsed inside her like a fresh bruise. Every step she took down the corridor replayed the scene, the smirks, the silence, the sharp laughter hiding at the edges. She entered her next classroom quietly, sliding into a seat at the back. The sunlight slanted across her desk, warm against her skin, but she felt cold inside. The whispers outside grew louder, swirling with mystery, But Maya let them drift past her. All she could hear was the echo of humiliation, a voice that would not let her go. The loudspeaker crackled to life, the static cutting through the hallway noise. All students and faculty, please report to the auditorium immediately. A buzz of anticipation swept the building. Feet shuffled, voices overlapped, and soon the auditorium filled with restless energy. Maya slipped into a seat near the middle, clutching her books to her chest. Her mind was still fogged with earlier shame, barely registering the chatter around her. At the podium, Principal Johnson adjusted his glasses, his smile calm but brimming with excitement. Today, he began, his voice carrying easily across the room. We welcome someone very special who will be joining us as our new assistant principal. The crowd stilled, expectant. When the side doors opened, gasps rippled through the room like a wave. Dr. Elena Brooks stepped onto the stage, her posture graceful, her eyes commanding. Dressed in a tailored navy suit, she exuded authority and warmth all at once. Maya's breath caught. Her mother. Pride swelled in her chest, dissolving the bitterness of humiliation into something solid, unshakable. From the staff section, Ms. Carter's face drained of color. Her hands clenched around her folder, knuckles white, as if holding on could steady her against the ground shifting beneath her feet. Principal Johnson's voice resonated through the hushed auditorium. Dr. Brooks brings with her years of experience in educational leadership. She has fought tirelessly to ensure that schools are places of growth, fairness, and opportunity. The students listened, some wide-eyed, others curious. Teachers shifted in their seats, the weight of his words settling over them like a quiet storm. Her role, he continued, glancing toward the staff section, is to oversee teacher performance and to safeguard the welfare of every student. Because here, in this school, every student deserves dignity, respect, and the chance to succeed. The phrase struck like a bell, reverberating through the hall. The meaning was clear, and though it was spoken broadly, the sting landed squarely on Miss Carter. She sat stiffly, her lips pressed thin, her gaze locked on the stage, as though she could will herself invisible. In the crowd, Maya lifted her head, her heartbeat quickening. Her mother's eyes found hers across the room, steady and unwavering. No words passed between them, but the silence spoke louder than any sentence. Justice had not forgotten her. For the first time that day, Maya felt her shoulders ease, strength blooming where shame had once lived. The auditorium emptied in a restless tide, voices swelling with excitement and disbelief. In the hallways, the usual chatter carried a new edge, rumors reborn, retold with wide gestures and breathless tones. Did you see her? She's Maya's mom. She's the new assistant principal. No way! The whispers trailed after Maya like echoes, but for the first time, they didn't sting. Instead, they carried something different, respect, even admiration. A few students who had once smirked at her now passed with sheepish smiles, others offering a quiet nod of acknowledgement. Small gestures, but they stitched strength back into the fabric of her dignity. Maya held her books closer to her chest, a faint smile tugging at the corner of her lips. The burn of humiliation still lingered, but it no longer consumed her. At the far end of the corridor, Miss Carter walked briskly, eyes fixed on anything but Maya. Her footsteps seemed too loud, too fast, betraying the unease that gripped her. For all her authority in the classroom, she now seemed smaller, her sharpness dulled beneath the shadow of her own actions. The balance had shifted, and everyone knew it. The sun dipped lower in the sky, staining the windows with amber light as the day drew to a close. The school, once buzzing with rumor and noise, settled into a quieter rhythm. Yet the echoes of what had happened still lingered in every corner, in every hushed conversation. For Maya, the sting of humiliation had not vanished, but it no longer defined her. It had been transformed, reshaped by the quiet strength of her mother's presence, by the unexpected shift of power that revealed dignity could outlast cruelty. Arrogance, the narrator whispers, blinds those who wield it, convincing them that their words carry the final truth. But every person holds unseen strength, waiting for the right moment to rise. Cruelty can bruise and shame, but dignity, when guarded fiercely, grows taller than scorn, stronger than ridicule. Justice does not always come in the form of loud retribution or sharp consequences. Sometimes it arrives in silence, a mother stepping onto a stage, a crowd witnessing a hidden truth, a teacher realizing that her cruelty has exposed only her own weakness. And in that quiet unveiling, the world sees clearly who truly holds the power.